Hi there, welcome to our workshop. Before we begin, if you can scan the QR code on the slide and take our brief pre-test, we would greatly appreciate it. Today, we're going to begin a conversation about mental health and understanding how mental health can impact your child or your children. This information may help your children or someone you know. This workshop is going to discuss what mental health is, the risk factors that could stand in the way of good mental health, understanding the difference between everyday feelings and overwhelming feelings, how to foster a supportive environment around mental health at home, and what it means to be a trusted adult. So, what is mental health? We hear a lot about taking care of our mental health, but exactly does that mean? Mental health is about our feelings, our thoughts, and moods. Mental health is important for a happy, healthy, productive, and balanced life. Just as we brush our teeth every day to take care of our teeth, we need to make sure our brains get taken care of too. So, just like taking care of our bodies, there are ways for us to take care of our minds as well. Looking after our mental health is just as important as looking after our physical health. Having good mental health can help us in many aspects of life. It allows us to function better at work or in school. Good mental health allows us to feel, express, and manage a range of positive and negative emotions. Achieving and maintaining good mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood through adulthood. Good mental health will allow our children to overcome obstacles, get along well with others, and stay well. Often, what stands in the way of good mental health is unmanaged stress. Now, stress is a normal part of life. In fact, it helps us motivate to get things done or to do our best, but too much stress can cause problems for our bodies and our minds. Our children experience real stress, usually caused by academics, family, and social pressures. When we have too much stress, we often experience physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches. It can also lead to mental health problems like depression. What causes you stress? There are many ways you can handle stress. It's important to know how you react to a stressful situation in your life so that you can better manage those reactions. Some of life's challenges are out of our control, and these challenges can be a risk to mental health. Some of the factors that might put children at risk for mental health challenges are the following: family conflict, health or mental illness, social rejection, major transitions or change, learning disabilities, trauma or neglect, tragedy or loss, poverty. Think about this quote: "The road to success is often bumpy." What this means is that all of us will experience challenges and roadblocks in life, but that is not a negative. Overcoming obstacles is how a child grows strong. This is called resilience, and it matters. Every parent and caregiver wants their child to lead a happy, healthy, and productive life. We want them to have the skills they need to deal with life's inevitable challenges. According to research, resiliency is the most important characteristic that a person can possess. So we've learned that kids have real stress and that some kids may have circumstances that are out of their control that make managing their mental health even more difficult. So what can we do to help our kids? The key is balance. The more risk factors a child has, the more protective factors are needed to be resilient. And the good news is that there are a lot there's a lot we can do to help build protective factors to help our children become resilient. Here are some of the factors that build resilience. Flexible thinking. Teach them how to reframe a disappointing moment or experience. The goal is to acknowledge the disappointing thing and then turn it into something positive. For example, your child's baseball game gets canceled. You can say, "I know you were excited to play and it's disappointing that it was canceled because of the rain. Why don't we think of a different activity to do instead?" Impulsive control. Play a board game. Board games are good for impulse control because they teach the skill of turn taking. Board games also require the use of executive functioning skills such as planning, working memory, and mental flexibility. Another factor is expressing emotions. Allow your kids to express all emotions so that they feel comfortable asking for help at difficult times. And self-efficacy. Embed choices into your child's day-to-day activities. This allows children to have a feeling of control and self-efficacy. Now that we have an understanding of what mental health is, let's take a look at understanding feelings, specifically everyday feelings and overwhelming feelings. We're going to watch a short video called "We All Have Mental Health." This video is about two friends, Sasha and Andre. Let's take a look.
You can't tell how someone feels by just looking at them, or what they share online with the outside world. Our lives may look perfect, even if in reality they aren't. I'm always worrying about doing well in school, and with tests coming up, I'm not sure how much longer I can cope. My thoughts swarm around my head, sometimes keeping me up all night. Some days it's just all too much, and I feel lost in space. When I did badly on one of my tests, I just about kept it together until I got home. Then I broke down crying in front of my mom. She listened for a bit, and then she told me that just like physical health, we all have mental health. It's our feelings, our thinking, our emotions, and our moods. She then said that feeling down, angry, and stressed is a normal part of life, just like it's normal to feel happy, confident, and carefree sometimes. We all have positive and negative emotions that come and go based on what's happening around us. These are everyday feelings. Good mental health also means experiencing negative emotions. It's not always about being happy. Mom can relate to the feeling of stress. When Mom suggested I take a break from everything and do something I enjoy, I actually took her advice. So I made myself a hot chocolate, snuggled up in a blanket, and watched a movie. And you know what? Afterwards, I felt so much better. Mom should take her own advice.
Most of us only ever share the good things. We don't like to share how we really feel. Every morning when I wake up, negative thoughts stream through my head. Getting out of bed and pretending I'm okay takes all the energy I have. As the day goes on, the negative thoughts turn from a stream into a river. Water rushes through my head so loudly it's hard to concentrate in class. And some days it's so bad it feels like a waterfall that's trying to pull me over the edge. Everything is so overwhelming. I didn't think my friends would understand if I told them how down I was feeling. But when Sasha opened up to me about how stressed she was feeling, I told her. I wasn't sure how to bring up how I've been feeling, so I started by saying that I didn't feel like myself. Just her listening made me feel like she understood. She told me some things that had helped her, so I tried them too, but it didn't make much of a difference. Even when I tried to be around my friends, I felt alone. The things I used to enjoy weren't fun anymore.
I was really worried about Andre and not sure what to do. He was quiet and wasn't hanging out with us like he used to. So I asked our teacher for some advice. He suggested that I get Andre to speak to him since his negative feelings weren't going away.
I didn't want to speak to an adult, but I also didn't want to keep feeling so down, so I went. He said that sometimes we have overwhelming feelings that can be more intense than our everyday feelings. These feelings hang around for a long time and change the way we feel, think, and behave. They can stop us from doing what we want to in life. That's what I was going through. He also said that if we're physically unwell, we let people know. We ask for help. It should be no different with mental health. Sometimes our overwhelming feelings are brought on because of things in our life. Sometimes they happen for no reason at all. After hearing this, I felt much less alone, and it felt good to talk. Scientists have found exercise can help when you're feeling low. So, my teacher encouraged me to sign up to the school soccer team, which Sasha was already in. I still have days when the river is there, but now I'm beginning to understand my mental health. I'm coping with my emotions and seeing a mental health professional. My teacher reminded me that my friends, my family, teachers, and lots of others at school are there to help just as much as he is. I had no idea that people around me could be so understanding, and while it's not always easy to talk about my mental health, the person I'm talking to might be able to help. If you don't feel like talking, that's fine. You could try writing, sports, reading, art, music, playing with your pet, whatever makes you feel better.
If you're the person someone talks to when they're struggling, just listen, with no pressure or judgments. You don't have to have an answer. If you feel unsure about anything, you can speak to a trusted adult. Talking about mental health doesn't have to be difficult. It's something we all need to take care of, just like our bodies.
So, our children experience a range of feelings, and we want them to be able to express their feelings in healthy ways. Feelings can be big or small and everything in between. They can be everyday feelings or overwhelming feelings. It's important to know that everyday feelings come and go and typically can be handled easily. Usually, something simple can help our child deal with their everyday feelings of stress, anger, sadness, and anxiety. Being happy and excited are everyday feelings too. Overwhelming feelings are also normal, but they hang around for a long time, change the way we feel and behave, and may require seeking additional support like talking to a mental health professional. What are some examples of everyday and overwhelming feelings that you notice in your children? Families are often the first to notice a change in mood, feeling, or behaviors in their child, which is why it's important to know that childhood and adolescent mental health struggles are common. In fact, 15 to 20% of young people will struggle with depression before adulthood. These struggles are serious and can be hard to see. 90 to 98% of suicides are a result of a diagnosable mental illness, the vast majority being depression. They are treatable. We want young people to know that everyone deserves good mental health and that we carry the message that you are not alone and that there is always hope. Sometimes we may need to reach out for help. However, asking for help can be hard. Stigma can get in the way of asking for help for ourselves or our children. What is stigma? Stigma is a mark of shame associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. Kids ages 9 through 12 are deeply aware and impacted by stigma, making it even more difficult for them to ask for help if they need it. We need to help normalize conversations around mental health and remember that you wouldn't be ashamed if you broke your arm or needed a doctor for a physical condition. There is nothing to be afraid of or ashamed of if someone is having a mental health challenge. We learned what mental health is, what can get in the way of good mental health, and have a deeper understanding of stigma. Now let's look at how we can help our children take care of their mental health and what we can do at home to create a supportive environment around mental health. There are a number of easy things we can do to help promote good mental health strategies. Here are some ideas. Focus on creating healthy meals and snacks. Good nutrition plays a big role in mental health. Encourage opportunities to exercise and be sure to get enough sleep. Young people need at least 8 hours of sleep. Practice coping strategies like listening to music, mindfulness activities. There are tons of apps for this. Journaling, playing with a pet, or talking with a friend. Remember, we all need to practice these coping strategies, including you. Taking time to practice self-care and positive coping strategies is a great way to model what behaviors you would like your children to do. Erika's Lighthouse offers some great family activities that promote good mental health and conversations around feelings at home. For example, the feelings thermometer is a tool that helps us measure the intensity of our emotions. As we climb in temperature from green to yellow to red, our feelings become more uncomfortable. When that occurs, maybe we need to try some breathing exercises to help regulate ourselves back to green. The inhale-exhale worksheet is a great way to practice breathing. You can also use the Conversation Starters worksheet to start normalizing conversations around mental health in your home. As you start feeling more comfortable asking questions and checking in, so will your child. Erika's Lighthouse classroom programs emphasize and encourage students to identify who their trusted adult is and how to engage a trusted adult if they're worried about themselves or a friend. Let's learn about what it means to be a trusted adult, some of the barriers that prevent young people from reaching out for help, and how to have a conversation with your child if you're concerned about them. When young people are asked to think about a trusted adult and what comes to mind, some of their responses include being a good listener, offering advice, showing empathy, or not making them feel silly for coming to them, someone they feel a connection with. A trusted adult is reliable and dependable. A young person might identify a trusted adult at home, like a parent or caregiver, a grandparent, or another family member. Maybe it's someone at school, a teacher, a coach, school counselor, or school social worker. A trusted adult could also be someone in the community, a mental health provider, a religious leader, or another instructor. The important piece is that a young person feels as though they have at least one trusted adult, and that this person will listen non-judgmentally, is trustworthy and caring, and if necessary, can get the young person to a professional who can help them. If you observe changes in your child's moods, thoughts, or behaviors that are causing you to be concerned, you might want to find a quiet, private, and protected time to speak with your child. These conversations may be hard and emotional. It can be helpful if you follow a simple language process to guide your conversation. For example, I notice. Is everything okay? I've noticed you've been... Then saying, I care. I'm concerned because I know this isn't normal for you. Then, how can I help? What can I do to help? Let's come up with a plan together. We want to end with an action. Even if your child says everything is fine, you want to end leaving the door open for future conversations. It's also helpful to remind your child that it's okay if they want to talk to someone other than you. While that could be hard to hear, you are opening the door for your child to be open and get any help they might need. Remember, young children may experience difficult situations and emotions. It's important to be there to listen first and not necessarily to try to solve a problem for them. Trust your gut instincts. If you suspect there may be a problem or suspect your child is struggling, even if they can't express that to you, something may be out of balance and needs your attention. Here are some helpful tips for supporting your child when having a conversation. Be prepared for the truth and remain calm. It's okay not to know what to do. Validate your child's feelings. It can be hurtful when feelings are minimized or not taken seriously. Take action. If you need help, your first step should always be to see a doctor to rule out anything physical, followed by a proper assessment. The correct diagnosis is key, as this illness can look like a learning disability, a thyroid condition, or even mono. Let your kid drive the ship. Let them come up with what they would like to do within reason. Give them options. This is important developmentally and teaching advocacy skills. If you have to tell someone, let them be involved and lead the conversation. No shame, no blame. Parents tend to feel guilty. Guilt and shame will prevent you from being the kind of parent you need to be able to help your child. An illness is no one's fault. If you are concerned about your child, the first step is to talk with them. Let them know that you care about them and you want to hear about what they're going through. Next, you want to connect them with care. Often, this is a mental health professional. It can be difficult to find a mental health professional. However, there are many places that can offer a referral. You can call your pediatrician or primary care provider. You can call your child's school. They may offer referrals. Or if available, your health insurance company may also have a list of providers. The next step is to schedule an appointment with that mental health provider and see what they recommend. It can be challenging to know what to say when you first call to make an appointment with a mental health provider. You may want to make some notes about behaviors you've noticed or things that your child has stated to you, and then you can share them with the mental health provider. Some ideas are, I think there is a problem because I heard my child say, I saw my child do, my child is feeling, this is not my child's usual behavior, or I've seen this change in my child's behavior over the past blank days or weeks. For even more resources and information, scan the QR code on the screen or visit ericaslighthouse.org. Erika's Lighthouse offers a 3-part family workbook series where you can learn even more about mental health, adolescent depression, getting help, and more. All of these resources are available at no cost and in English and Spanish. Good mental health also means experiencing negative emotions. It's not always about being happy. Remember that there are many ways to care for our mental health, and often very small changes in nutrition, sleep, and exercise can help set our mental health back into balance. As an adult, what you need to care for your mental well-being is often similar to what your children need. Stop and think. What do you need to maintain good mental health? As adults, we have a chance to be role models for good mental health for young people. Thank you for joining us today. Please take a moment to scan the QR code and complete the post test. Be sure to reach out to Erika's Lighthouse if you have any questions.